Let me tell you something real simple, but real true. Women don't just fall in love with you because you look good, smell nice, or walked in with a fresh haircut. No, man. Women fall in love for two real reasons. And if you get these wrong, you can forget the whole thing. Reason number one, how you make her feel. A woman pays attention to feelings the way a man pays attention to results. She listens to the small things. She notices how you talk to her when you're tired, how you treat her. When nobody is watching, how you respond when she's vulnerable. If a woman feels safe around you, emotionally safe, mentally safe, she starts trusting you. And when a woman trusts you, brother, you're already halfway in her heart. You can buy gifts, you can look good, you can flex your little muscles. But if she don't feel valued, all that goes straight in the trash. Because a woman's heart opens when she feels understood, not when she feels impressed. Reason number two, how you behave when life gets hard. Anybody can act right when everything's going smooth. But a woman watches how you move when life punches you in the mouth. Do you fold? Do you blame the world? Or do you stand up, take responsibility, keep pushing, and make a plan? A woman falls in love with consistency, with stability, with a man who doesn't run when things get tough. She wants to know if she can build with you, depend on you, grow with you. Because a real woman isn't looking for a boy who wants attention. She's looking for a man who can lead with integrity. You want love, you want loyalty, you want a woman to choose you even when you're not perfect. Then be the kind of man who makes her feel safe and the kind of man she can trust when the storm hits. Do that and you won't have to chase love. Love will come find you. Women don't fall in love because of looks, money, or surface level charm. Those things might catch attention, but they don't keep a woman's heart. What truly matters and what truly pulls a woman closer is how you make her feel when she is around you. A woman pays attention to emotions the same way a man pays attention to angles, strategies, and outcomes. Her heart is tuned to the vibration of your energy. When she talks, she doesn't just listen to your words, she feels the tone behind them. When she spends time with you, she doesn't just remember what you did. She remembers how you made her feel while doing it. That is the language her heart speaks. A woman can meet the most handsome man in the room, but if he makes her feel small, unseen, or unimportant, she will disconnect instantly. On the other hand, she can meet an average-looking man who listens to her, respects her, makes her laugh, supports her dreams, and suddenly he becomes the most attractive man in her world. Because emotional connection reshapes physical attraction. Women fall in love with the man who brings them peace, not the man who brings them pressure. They fall in love with the man who creates emotional comfort, not emotional chaos. When she feels accepted around you, she starts letting down her guard. When she feels appreciated, she starts opening up. When she feels respected, she begins to trust. And that trust is powerful. It unlocks a side of her no one else gets to see. The softness, the affection, the loyalty, the devotion. These come naturally when her emotions feel protected. How you treat a woman when no one is watching says everything about your character. Are you patient when she's overwhelmed? Are you gentle when she's emotional? Are you reassuring when she's insecure? These moments matter more than big gestures or fancy gifts. A woman notices how your energy changes when she's vulnerable. Does your tone get colder? Do you dismiss her feelings? Do you judge her for expressing herself? Or do you show her that her emotions are safe with you? A woman also falls in love with a man who listens, truly listens. Not the kind of listening where you wait for her to finish, talking so you can give your response. Real listening means you pay attention to what she's saying, what she means, and what she's trying to express beneath the surface. When she talks about her day, you don't treat it like background noise. When she shares her fears, you don't laugh them off. When she tells you what she needs, you don't make her repeat herself over and over. Women fall in love with men who make them feel understood without judgment. She also pays attention to the environment you create. Do you bring peace or stress? Calm or chaos? Confidence or confusion? A woman is deeply affected by atmosphere. If your presence feels like a burden, she'll distance herself. But if your presence feels like home, she'll naturally lean in. Women fall for the man whose presence gives them relief, not tension. If being around you makes her feel lighter, she'll want more of you. If being around you makes her feel drained, she'll pull away, no matter how much she loves you. At the end of the day, a woman falls in love with the experience you create for her heart. She remembers your kindness, your respect, your consistency, your comfort, and your effort. She falls in love with the way you treat her soul, not just her body. A woman chooses the man who makes her feel cherished, safe, valued, and emotionally free. That feeling is what captures her heart and keeps it. Women pay close attention to how a man behaves when life stops being smooth, when the easy days fade and the pressure shows up. Anyone can charm, impress, and act perfect when everything is going right. But the test a woman watches closely is how you carry yourself when things go wrong. Hard times reveal the truth about a man. They expose his patience, his discipline, his emotional control, and his ability to stay grounded. A woman doesn't fall in love with the version of you that shows up on your best days. She falls in love with the version of you that appears when everything around you is falling apart. When life hits you with stress, disappointment, or failure, she observes the way you respond. Do you lose your temper easily? Do you shut down and disappear? Do you blame everyone else? Or do you breathe, think, and take responsibility for what needs to be fixed? A woman is not expecting perfection, but she is absolutely expecting stability. She wants to know that when life shakes you, you don't crumble into pieces every time. Because if she sees you collapse under pressure, she knows that building a future with you will feel like walking on glass, never knowing when things might shatter. She also pays attention to consistency. It's easy to be good to someone when the relationship is new, when you're excited, when you're trying to impress. But what about when you're tired, stressed, or frustrated? Do you still treat her with respect? Do you still show effort? Do you still communicate? Or do you withdraw and make her feel confused? A woman falls deeply for the man whose behavior doesn't change with the weather. If you're stable emotionally, she feels safe. If you're unpredictable, she stays guarded. A woman also watches how you handle responsibility. Do you step up when things get tough? Or do you make excuses? A man who faces challenges and works through them earns her trust. A man who avoids responsibility loses it. She wants to know that she can count on you, not just in moments of excitement, but in moments of difficulty. She wants to see if you're someone she can build a real life with, not just someone she can have fun with. When she imagines a future, she's imagining a partner, not a problem. Your reaction to conflict matters too. When disagreements happen, and they always do, she pays attention to whether you argue to win or argue to understand. Do you listen? Do you stay respectful even when you're upset? Do you try to solve the issue, or do you try to run away from it? A woman falls in love with the man who can communicate with maturity, not the man who turns every disagreement into a battlefield. She wants to see that you can handle emotions without exploding, shutting down, or pushing her away. And then there is resilience. Women admire men who don't give up easily. If she sees you get knocked down and still keep moving, still keep dreaming, still keep improving, she feels inspired and safe. Your strength makes her feel like life with you won't crumble every time a problem appears. Being strong doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being steady, being solution-focused, being a leader even when you feel tired inside. A woman falls in love with who you are under pressure because that is the truest version of you. If she sees a man who stands firm, stays respectful, keeps going, and doesn't let the world break him, she feels protected around you. And when a woman feels safe in your strength, not controlling, not loud, not aggressive, but steady, her heart naturally chooses you without hesitation. Consistency is one of the quietest but most powerful qualities a woman pays attention to. It doesn't come with fireworks, and it doesn't make loud announcements, but it builds trust brick by brick until her heart feels secure with you. A woman falls in love with the man who shows up the same way day after day, not just when it's convenient, not just when he wants something, and not just when the relationship is easy. Consistency is the proof that your intentions are real. Anyone can be amazing for a week, but being dependable over time shows who you truly are. When you're consistent, she doesn't have to guess what version of you she's getting that day. She doesn't have to worry if your mood will swing for no reason. She doesn't have to overthink every text, every silence, every change in tone. Consistency gives her peace, and peace is one of the greatest gifts a woman can receive. It allows her to relax into the relationship instead of analyzing it. It lets her feel chosen instead of wondering if she still matters to you. A woman watches your consistency in the small things more than the big ones. Do you speak to her with respect even when you're stressed? Do you keep your word even on days you don't feel like it? Do you show effort even when the excitement of the beginning fades? The things you do repeatedly shape how she feels about you. If your words and actions match, she trusts you. If they don't, she questions you. Consistency is also about emotional steadiness. A woman wants to know you're not one person when you're happy and a completely different person when you're frustrated. She wants to feel safe expressing herself without fearing you'll get cold, distant, or reactive. When you remain calm during disagreements, when you communicate instead of shutting down, when you stay present instead of disappearing, that emotional stability shows her you're grounded, reliable, and serious about her. And then there's consistency in effort. At the beginning of a relationship, most men put in energy, good morning texts, interest, compliments, plans, attention, but many slow down once they feel comfortable. A woman notices the difference instantly. She pays attention to whether your effort was a performance or a true part of who you are. If you only show effort when you're trying to win her, she feels played. But if you continue showing care, long after you've already got her, she feels valued. Consistency tells her she's not a temporary option, but a long-term priority. A consistent man also makes her feel emotionally secure. She knows that if she needs you, you'll be there. She knows you won't switch up on her, depending on your mood or convenience. She knows she won't wake up one morning and suddenly feel like everything has changed. This sense of stability allows her to open her heart without fear of being blindsided. Women only love deeply when they feel safe enough to let their guard down, and consistency is what unlocks that safety. Consistency even influences attraction. When a woman sees that you're dependable, it makes you more desirable. She feels proud to stand beside a man who shows discipline, maturity, and loyalty. She feels closer to you because consistency builds emotional intimacy. It creates a rhythm that makes her feel connected to you even on quiet days. A consistent man doesn't confuse her. He reassures her. He doesn't create doubt. He removes it. In the end, consistency is not about perfection. It's about effort, presence, and reliability. Being the same man on your good days and your difficult days. It's about showing her through repeated actions that your love isn't temporary, your intentions aren't unstable, and your character isn't unpredictable. When a woman witnesses that level of steady commitment, she doesn't just appreciate it, she falls in love with it. A woman pays closer attention to a man's actions than anything he says because actions reveal truth in a way words never can. Words are easy to say, easy to repeat, easy to promise, but actions require effort, intention, discipline, and sincerity. That's why a woman watches what you do far more closely than what you claim. She notices how you behave in the moments you think don't matter. She pays attention to the choices you make when no one is watching. She studies the patterns in your behavior, not the poetry in your sentences. A woman might hear your promises, but she believes your action. When you tell her you care but disappear when she needs support, she remembers that. When you say you'll call her back, but forget, she stores that. When you show interest during the good moments but distance yourself during difficult ones, she feels the inconsistency deep inside. A woman doesn't fall for potential, she falls for patterns. If your actions show effort, she feels valued. If your actions show carelessness, she pulls away even if she doesn't say it out loud. Her heart keeps track of how you treat her more accurately than her mind ever will. A woman watches how you treat people you don't need anything from. Do you speak respectfully to service workers? Are you kind to strangers? Do you show patience when someone makes a mistake? These moments tell her what type of man you are at your core. She pays attention to whether you speak gently or harshly, whether you solve problems or create them, whether you uplift or belittle. Your behavior in the world reflects the future she can expect with you. She also pays close attention to how you handle her emotions. When she opens up about something painful, do you show compassion or irritation? When she expresses frustration, do you dismiss her feelings or try to understand them? When she cries, do you get angry, uncomfortable, or supportive? These actions shape the foundation of emotional intimacy. If she feels safe expressing herself, she starts trusting you more deeply. But if you make her feel judged or misunderstood. She closes off because your actions taught her she's not safe. A woman values a man whose behavior aligns with his character. If you say you're reliable, she expects consistency. If you say you're loyal, she expects boundaries. If you say you're serious about her, she expects effort. She doesn't need perfection, but she does need sincerity. A woman can feel it when a man's actions come from genuine care rather than convenience. She watches whether you follow through on promises, whether you make time for her even on busy days, whether you show love even without being asked. It's not the grand gestures she falls for. It's the everyday actions that prove you're invested. A woman also notices how you handle conflict. Anyone can be kind when everything is smooth, but arguments reveal your true behavior. Do you listen when she speaks, or do you interrupt? Do you take responsibility, or do you deflect blame? Are you calm, or do you explode? Are you willing to fix things, or do you run away from difficult conversation? Your behavior during conflict determines whether she feels safe building a future with you. If your actions show maturity, she grows closer. If your actions show instability, she grows distant. Behavior reveals whether a man is trustworthy. It reveals whether he's emotionally mature. It reveals whether he respects her or just wants her. You can charm a woman with words, but you keep her with action. You can attract her with promises, but you win her heart with consistent behavior. When your behavior matches your intentions, she sees a man she can rely on. When your behavior contradicts your words, she sees a man she cannot risk her heart with. In the end, a woman doesn't fall in love with what you say. She falls in love with what you repeatedly do. Your actions become the story she believes and the foundation she builds her feelings on. A woman pays attention to a man's strength, but not the kind of strength most men think of. She's not looking for how much weight you can lift, how loud your voice is, or how intimidating you appear. What truly pulls her in is emotional strength, the quiet, steady, dependable kind of resilience that shows up when life becomes unpredictable. She wants to know if you can stay grounded when the world is shaking. She wants to know if you can be calm when things get chaotic. She wants to know if you can lead with clarity instead of reacting with fear or anger. A woman studies your strength not in your victories, but in your storms. When life hits you with pressure, bills piling up, stress at work, health issues, family problems, she notices whether you become destructive or disciplined. Do you lose control of your emotions, or do you manage them? Do you turn into someone she can't recognize when you're overwhelmed, or do you remain steady even when you're struggling? A woman respects the kind of man who can be honest about his challenges, but still refuses to break his character. She falls for the man who can say, yes, life is hard right now, but I'm still here, still trying, still fighting. That kind of strength makes her feel protected even when life isn't perfect. A woman watches how you handle pressure because it tells her what a future with you will feel like. Will she have to carry you every time life gets heavy? Will she walk on eggshells when you're stressed? Will she worry about your reactions more than the actual problem? Or will you be the kind of man who brings clarity instead of confusion? Women fall deeply in love with men who remain steady under pressure because it shows leadership. It shows maturity. It shows that you don't let temporary storms dictate your permanent behavior. She also pays attention to how you make decisions during hard times. Do you get impulsive and reckless, or do you think things through? A man who falls apart emotionally becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability makes a woman feel unsafe. But a man who stays composed, who stays respectful, who stays logical even when he's hurting, becomes incredibly attractive because she sees discipline in him. And discipline is a form of strength that lasts much longer than physical power. A woman notices how you protect her during challenging moments, not just physically, but emotionally. Do you speak to her kindly even when you're under stress? Do you reassure her even when things are uncertain? Do you take responsibility instead of creating more chaos? Strength is felt most in your ability to maintain respect, patience, and clarity when it would be easier to explode. A woman falls in love with the man who can carry his emotions without dropping them on her. Another thing she observes is how you handle failure. Do you give up when things don't go your way? Do you blame others? Do you shut down and isolate yourself? Or do you stand back up, learn from what happened, and try again? Women admire resilience, not the absence of struggle, but the ability to rise after it. A resilient man makes a woman feel like no matter what life throws at them, they will figure it out together. His strength becomes her comfort. His resilience becomes her security. She also looks at how you protect your peace. A strong man doesn't let everyone influence him. He doesn't let negativity pull him down. He sets boundaries. He chooses his battles. He knows when to walk away from things that destroy his growth. That kind of emotional control makes a woman feel like she is safe in your presence because you're not controlled by anger, stress, or ego. A woman doesn't fall in love with loud strength. She falls in love with quiet strength, the kind that doesn't have to prove itself, the kind that shows through patience, consistency, responsibility, and emotional balance. She falls in love with the man who doesn't let life break him, even when it tries. You become the safe place she trusts, the steady force she values, and the partner she believes in. A woman falls in love with a man she can depend on without having to question his intentions, his loyalty, or his presence. Dependability is not about being perfect or having every answer. It's about showing up when it matters, staying committed even when things get difficult, and proving through your action that she is safe with you. Not just today, not just when you're in a good mood, but consistently over time. A woman's heart opens when she feels she won't be abandoned, replaced, or treated like an option. She wants reliability because reliability builds emotional security, and emotional security is the root of real love. When a woman feels like she can depend on you, she relaxes, her guard lowers, her affection grows naturally. She doesn't have to overthink your messages, wonder why you disappeared, or question whether your feelings are real. Dependability removes uncertainty, and uncertainty is what destroys connection. She pays attention to whether you follow through on your words. If you say you'll call, do you call? If you promise to be there, are you there? If you talk about the future, do your actions align with those plans? A dependable man doesn't confuse her, he reassures her. Women fall in love with men who bring stability into their lives. Emotional, mental, and physical stability. Emotional stability means she doesn't have to guess what version of you she'll get each day. She knows you won't punish her with silence, disappear during conflict, or act differently depending on your mood. Mental stability means you handle stress maturely instead of dumping it on her. Physical stability means you are present, not withdrawing, not avoiding, not making excuses. When she can depend on your presence, her emotions become rooted in trust rather than fear. Dependability also shows in how you support her. Not just during dramatic moments, but in everyday life. When she's stressed, do you listen? When she's overwhelmed, do you step in to help? When she's hurting, do you offer comfort instead of judgment? Women fall in love with the man who chooses to be her safe space, the man who stands beside her, even when she's not at her best, the man who doesn't make her feel like she's too much or a problem to her. Dependability means being someone she can lean on without being afraid. You'll use her vulnerability against her. She also watches how you treat the relationship when you're frustrated or tired. Do you still communicate? Do you still show effort? Do you take responsibility instead of shutting down? Dependability is tested most during hard moments, not easy ones. When a woman sees that your commitment doesn't disappear during stress, she starts to trust that your love isn't temporary. Anyone can be loving on good days. She falls in love with the man who remains steady on the bad ones. A woman wants to know that if life gets difficult financially, emotionally, or mentally, you won't run. She wants to feel that you're someone who can build with her, grow with her, fight through storms with her. When she imagines a future, she's imagining partnership, not instability. A dependable man gives her the confidence that she's choosing someone who will stand by her, not someone she'll have to chase or worry about. Dependability also includes honesty. She wants the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Not half answers, not excuses, not confused behavior. Honesty creates clarity, and clarity creates trust. When she knows you speak the truth, even about your weaknesses, she feels emotionally safe. Dependability is not about always being strong. It's about being real, communicate clearly, and showing that you won't hide or pull away when things get tough. When a woman feels she can depend on you, she gives you a version of herself no one else gets. Softer, deeper, more loving, more loyal. Her affection multiplies. Her trust becomes unshakable. Her connection grows stronger. She doesn't fall in love with uncertainty. She falls in love with dependability. And when she finds a man whose actions, effort, and presence remain steady, her heart naturally chooses him without hesitation.